welcome to my channel. Today our topic is the bow. So what we're going to talk about is different parts of the bow and how you unwind the bow and how you wind it, and also how we hold the bow. This part is called the frog or the nut, okay? It's the heavier part of the bow. This is called the tip, okay? And this is the wooden part of the bow, and this is the hair of the bow, which we try not to touch. Why? Because if you have, even if your hands are extremely clean, we still have oils on our hands. We will dirt the hair. When we pack away our bow, we turn the bow anti-clockwise. Clockwise is the way that the clock turns. So if this is number 12, number 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the way the clock turns, yes? Okay, that's clockwise. Anti-clockwise is the other way around. So when you look at the bow, you're going to look at it like this. And you turn it clockwise, so you're turning it to the right when you want to tighten the bow. And when you want to loosen the bow, you turn it left. So you're going anti-clockwise. So this is when the bow is loose. You can see the hairs are quite floppy. I'm touching like this. You can sometimes touch just to check. See, and you can, if you put pressure down, the hair touches the wood of the bow. Now I'm going to tighten it, but I still want the bow to be curved. You don't want a flat wooden part of the bow. Okay, don't make it flat because then you will damage your bow. So I'm going to do a few turns, just enough to give tension in here, there, and the hair. I'm just going to check. See, that's enough. I'm putting pressure down with this hand and I'm checking, and it has enough. Now, do you see how my bow is still curved? Okay, it's not straight. What happens in warmer weather, wood expands. So you will have to be a bit more careful. So let's say you're playing in a really hot room and you tighten your bow. You just tightened it enough. I'm just going to loosen mine a little bit. You just tightened it enough to have enough tension. So you've been playing for a little bit and then you have a look down and you notice that your bow, the wood has gone quite straight. That's because the temperature in the room has expanded the wood and the wood has gone straight by itself. And all you have to do is unwind it a little bit more and you'll see that it will release the tension, okay? So you always be careful. That's why they also say don't leave your instruments in cars, in hot cars. Okay, you have to be careful with your instrument in that way too, because first of all, you can damage your bow that way. You can damage your violin, any instrument, cello, viola. Okay. Now, how you hold the bow. What I like to do is I like to imagine that these ones, they're all little characters, so especially for children if you're learning. So what happens is we've got what I like to call this, that dot is our little, it's our treasure, okay? I don't want anyone stealing my treasure. So, and you probably don't want anyone stealing your treasure. So I'm going to take these two middle fingers. We've got 4 fingers and a thumb, okay? So let's think of it that way for now. 4 fingers and a thumb. I'm going to take my 2 middle fingers and place them over the dot. Okay, I'm covering up my treasure. I don't want anyone seeing my treasure. So cover up that treasure like that. Now, I'm going to take the pinky and put him on the top. Now the pinky, he's got a really tough job because he's got to sit on the top. So I like to say he's like sitting on the top of the mountain. And if he falls asleep, he will slip off. Okay, so he can't fall asleep. He's got to stay awake all day and all night to make sure that he can tell these guys if somebody is coming to steal the treasure. So he will be making sure to watch. Okay, make sure he doesn't fall. All right, this one, this finger, which we call the pointing finger or the index finger, he is quite a lazy finger, and all he does all day and all night, he sleeps. So you just lie him down like this, he sleeps all day and all night. Okay, lie him down like that. So you don't want him pointing like this straight. You want your fingers need to have a nice curve to them, like this. So it's like a little rainbow. Now the thumb, we don't want to just put the thumb anywhere. The thumb, he's like a little hook like this, okay? Like a little hook. And we're going to hook him in like that. So you should be able to see your nail. So he's not, don't just put him through, okay? Don't just put him through because that looks a bit funny and it's not really correct. You want to turn your thumb with him pointing up. Why? Because he's going to jump up if somebody comes to steal the treasure. He's ready to jump up, okay? So remember, we have the 2 middle fingers, they cover our treasure. Our pinky sits on the top of the mountain making sure nobody steals our treasure. He doesn't do very much, he's just lying down sleeping all day and all night. And our thumb is sitting up, making sure he's ready to jump if somebody comes to steal our treasure. Okay? Now, a simpler way just to describe it is 2 middle fingers over the dot, pinky on the top, index finger lying down, and thumb tucked in. And now that is how you should have your bow hold. You should be able to hold your bow without the support of this hand. I suggest when you are learning, do hold it like this. Don't hold it like this. Don't scrunch over the bow because you don't want to dirt the hair. Just hold the wooden part, or you can even ask someone to hold it for you. And you practice. And what I like to do is this. Shake your hand out. Shake, 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 shake. Try again. Test to see if you can do it. All right, good. Then shake your hand out. Shake, 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 shake. Do it again. See, when you're learning to hold the bow, it is very, very, very awkward. It's not a comfortable position, so I suggest practicing that all the time. Shake, 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 shake. A couple of times every day until you get used to it, okay? And make sure, because sometimes when we're playing, these fingers want to creep up. Yeah, they want to look like this. Or this one wants to collapse, this pinky. He wants to fall over. But don't do this even. Like, don't hook the pinky, okay? He is very relaxed. He's just sitting there, okay? So this is what it looks like from this side. So we want a nice little space inside. It's like a circle, okay? Right. This is my rosin, but usually rosins come round, okay? Or they're like a little rectangle or a square. Okay, but this was my rosin. So what is rosin? Rosin is a solid resin from trees, pines and stuff like that. And what they do is they heat it up, and there's a process to make this. When there is no rosin on the bow, on the hair, it doesn't make any sound. It's like human hair. It's exactly the same thing, except horse hair is a lot stronger and thicker. So doesn't break as easily. Okay, so that's why they use it. Usually when you buy a new violin, the violin bow comes with no rosin on it. And some people say that you should take a knife and scratch the rosin to start creating, like to break into that first layer, because it's like a shiny layer. Don't do that. So when I broke into this one, I just rubbed quite a lot. So you rub it and you'll see that the rosin will, that shiny coat on the top, you will break through it. That's what you do. So rub, 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 rub. And sometimes you've got to put a bit more on, sometimes a bit less. If it's a new bow, you might have to put quite a bit more to produce the sound. How will you know if you've got enough rosin? If there's no rosin on the bow, you will hear no sound. If you don't want to put too much, you will know if you put too much, if you see like too much rosin coming out while you're playing on the strings. So so be careful not to put too much. You don't want to do that. Just put enough to make sound. So I suggest doing it a little bit before each time you play. Thank you very much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I will see you next time.